G'day everyone, it's Warren from NQ Explorers. This week I'm out in the eastern goldfields of Western Australia along with Garrett Australia, and we're very privileged to have along with us two professional prospectors, well known in WA prospecting circles, Matt and Campbell. And being out with Matt and Campbell, we've got exclusive access to private leases in the area, out around the Kalgoorlie area. So we're going to do a few days detecting and a few ATX tips along the way and show you a bit of this countryside and how the ATX is well suited to detecting conditions in Western Australia. Well, this week we're out in the eastern goldfields of Western Australia with Garrett Australia, and it's been a great privilege for me personally to be out here with two professional prospectors, well known in the Western Australian prospecting fraternity. It's Matt and Campbell. These blokes have prospected this state from one end to the other, and actually internationally too. So they know this ground, they know this country, and I've been learning a lot from these two blokes about looking at this country and reading what's going on around the place, because it's very different to the eastern goldfields. So we've got a great deal of experience out here with us, and we've also been privileged to have access to private leases that the public doesn't come on because of the connections that Matt and Campbell have got in the WA prospecting community. So I mean, you blokes have been kicking around the trap for a lot of years together.
Oh, well, what, over 30?
Yeah.
Over 30 years we've been together. We met up in 1982?
82.
Yeah, 82. He was living in a hammock and I was living in an old bit of tin shed in a place called the Goat Farm.
Right.
And we've just been prospecting for many years, and we've know the area is, like you said, from one end of the state to the other. And
Prospected all over the state.
Yeah.
Matt overseas more so than me.
Yep.
And we've it's our living these days.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I find that when you come to a place like this, goldfields are very different to the East Coast, and it's reading this country's a lot different to what we experience where I come from.
Oh, yeah.
So, well, like I said, working with you blokes has been a great experience because we've got a different geological situation, and we've got different landforms, and it's a very different situation.
Well, a lot drier.
Yeah, and drier.
A lot drier.
Yeah.
Well, we're surrounded by dry blowing.
Yeah, I haven't seen a creek for a week.
But not one with water in it.
No.
No, well, we've got a lot of dry blowings here.
Yeah, so I mean, you blokes, as professionals, obviously that's your income, and you've moved on to the ATX. You use the ATX now.
The ATX we use, and we're loving it.
Yep.
We find it just offers the extra edge that you need these days to find the gold.
Yep.
Very stable, very, very stable. Really good on little pieces. That small gold, using the double D coil on the ATX just nails those little pieces.
Yeah. And
as you've seen while we've been working around here, you'll get the deep pieces as well.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, well, I really like the stability.
Yeah.
It's extremely stable. You know, we've been using, well, I'll mention the name Minelab for many years, but it can get a bit unstable in places. You get different interferences, particularly under power lines like we've been discussing.
That's right.
And also, out of the bush yourself, you get interferences from all sorts of different areas, and no matter what you do, you can't get rid of them. Whereas with the Garrett, we've found just steady. Yeah, and we like that. Yeah, I mean, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
That makes a difference between hearing a piece and not hearing
That's
a piece.
right. That depth, the stable threshold is depth.
Yes.
Absolutely. You need a little burbles and things.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. The ATX, from my personal experience, is almost unaffected by ambient temperature, by hot ground temperatures. The threshold during the day doesn't change from morning till afternoon.
Yeah, that's quite right.
Yeah.
But you know what also I really love about it is that if you're walking around and you do get caught out like this, you're out in the middle of nowhere and it starts raining.
Yeah.
If you haven't got a plastic bag, but with an ATX, there's not a problem.
No. You're just going to get wet and that's all.
It's going to get wet.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yep.
You don't have to throw yourself over your machine to protect it.
Yeah, well, you've got to protect it, mate.
Yeah,
You know?
or go home with your tail between your legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so I mean, that's like this afternoon we've been able to work under power lines here. There's a big high voltage system runs through this area, and it does affect the threshold slightly. You do have to dumb down the sensitivity a little bit, but it's very much detectable.
Absolutely. Well, as you were showing us today, you know, even dropping the sensitivity to 8, that still works perfectly underneath those power lines. And it now gives you scope. You know, there's lots of WA under power lines that you've just never been able to work before.
Yeah, and not with a VLF either because the ground's too hot.
No, not
Yeah,
at all.
that's right. With VLF, forget it.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
can't do it.
So it has to be a pulse machine, and so the current pulse machines sort of get within 30 metres maybe of the power lines, and then you start to drive.
Well, that's what we did experience.
Yeah.
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 30 metres.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were right underneath the lines of the ATX.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
right
and
underneath those high power lines, and it just worked perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, let's face it, we had those other couple with us today
Yeah.
who were working this area, and they were a bit surprised, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
That we could work under these power lines.
That's right.
No one can do it, and that's a great thing. It opens up a lot of ground
Yeah,
for you,
and
mate.
the iron check is brilliant too, because like obviously wherever gold or has been or is, the old timers were there before us.
Well, particularly this area, mate.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is junk.
this is a really junky place. This
Yeah.
is junk, and I found this is actually a really good for me to be out here with the ATX and check it with the iron check, and I was really impressed with it. It saves me a lot of work digging, and I love it. I love that side of it.
The iron check is a conservative feature, but if you iron check something and you get an iron grunt and dig it, it will be iron.
Exactly, and I've checked it.
Yeah.
I've really checked it. And
Yeah,
it
I know
works
you were
for me.
saying that to me yesterday.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that's
that's a
handy.
feature that works really well.
That is, because it doesn't work on the mono coils, but you've been using the big mono a bit, Matt, the other
I've been
day.
using the big mono coil. What I'm not using it here because I think in this application the smaller double D works better.
Yeah.
I would use the smaller mono, but the double D just seems to suit this
It's
type
pretty
of
even,
ground.
isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nice
It's a good-
mid-range. Yeah, it's
it
good.
is.
It will still give me my depth, and it's easier to pinpoint my target.
Yeah,
Well, I was
Full of
really
junk.
impressed with that target you got yesterday.
Oh, mate,
I might know it was just junk, but it was deep.
that was down a long way.
Yeah, in hot ground.
Yeah, in
In
hot
Yeah.
ground.
In really hot ground.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the point to take from this is if you've got two professional prospectors are going to use the tools they need to find their income, which is gold. So the ATX is a real additional to an arsenal of a professional prospector. So recreational prospectors such as myself, it's definitely the way to go because you can get into ground that previously wasn't detectable with pulse machines. And of course it's
Well, absolutely. You know, it now opens up. I can go on the salt lake. I don't
Yeah.
need a special coil. I can go under power lines. I don't need a special coil. I can work the hottest ground around, and it's really stable and smooth.
That's right. And you're finding you get more than a day's use out of the AA battery packs.
More than a day.
More than a day, actually quite good, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not working a 12-hour day, but I'm still putting a hard yard in.
So what we've been doing is we have a battery pack charging overnight, and then you've got fresh batteries every day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And have no trouble with that at all.
No.
It works beautiful.
And the ATX performance is optimal up to the point where the battery stopped working. It doesn't
Absolutely.
fade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't lose it as the batteries
No.
start
Yeah.
discharging.
Yeah. Oh, well, anyway, blokes, it's been a real privilege to be out with you two this week.
well,
Oh,
Yeah,
look,
it's
we
been
feel the
good for us
same. It's
too.
been a privilege to work around with you
it's
and
been
show
great.
you a few different parts of Western Australia,
Yeah.
and particularly this sort of ground. I mean, you just wouldn't see anything like this over the eastern
No.
states.
Well, that's Matt and Campbell, two professional prospectors from Western Australia, who now use the ATX as their main tool in their arsenal.
Yeah.